All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. I guess I'll play Angry Birds while I wait. Very good. Couple of new names in here. At least they look new. All right, so thank you for joining me. Anyway, now, guys, if you notice the names in the chat, they went back to normal, I guess. Strange. YouTube is always doing some shit, or maybe they had a glitch that day. Who knows? But let's go. Maria, Kathy, thank you for the 5x5. Carbon Q, what's going on? Dan H, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it, guys. Rumble, there's 3 people watching. Very good. Sarita, Eric, Comet Moon, Bass, Master Blaster, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it as always. So, we're just going to keep it really simple today. Now, of course, guys, the Epstein list backlash is, I wouldn't say it's growing, but they're continuing it for as long as they can. I have a suspicion that if this talk about the client list keeps going, that some magical false flag is going to happen. Something big, right? Because you got to get everybody's mind off of this. The MAGA party is fracturing big time. Not even a little bit, a lot. There are a lot of people that are just like done with it. Joanne and Maria, thank you for the 5x5. And Joanne, good morning on Rumble. So, did you get your fan? Let's go. No. I left it in the living room. It is what it is. I'll be okay. I guess sweating is adding to weight loss. Who fucking knows? But it doesn't matter. It's not that hot today like it was last night. But it's going to get hot. And they shut the water off, by the way. They're flushing the system. So when they flush the system, fuck us. Right? So, yes, it's going to be back online by 3. I'll be dead by then. But it's okay. Google censorship, exactly. And that's the thing, guys. This sect of J people, if you will, or Jews, they definitely have some control over every country, because it's just amazing how like a lot of this shit in regards to them is just what it is. It's just what it is. And yeah, this kind of shit is going down. I mean, the whole list, man. Listen, there must have been a lot of people, J people, on that list. That's why it hasn't been released from both sides. You know, people like, that's not true. If Trump was on it, they would have. If Trump was on it, you know, they would have released it. No, they wouldn't. You have to release the whole list. You can't like redact the whole list and release Trump name on it, because then you're going to be like, who else is on that list that they redacted the shit out of it and just left his on it? So they can't do it, right? So everybody's name is on that list, just about everybody, right? I don't think, like, I hate to say it, but I don't think like Obama's on the list, but the Clintons are definitely on it. I think maybe even the Bushes, or one of the Bushes, but not all of them. I don't think Epstein was everybody's cup of tea. But with that, guys, is the party is fracturing, and people are pissed, and they're pissed at him because it's one thing if he would have just kept his mouth shut. He would have said nothing about that list. Nobody would have said a word. Nobody would have been like, yo, you're going to release the list? He would have just left well enough alone. He would have been like, but he sat there for months campaigning this shit. And so here we are. Somebody said something about a desk. Did I say something about a desk? I hate looking at the chat every now and again and seeing some shit and being like, was it me? Did somebody else say that? Yeah, listen, again, you know, here's the problem too with society today. Now, I had a rift, if you will, with a chick on Instagram. Now, everybody knows I love cursing. And everybody knows that between this channel and the Angry Prepper channel, that people have always told me, you need to stop cursing, grow up, all this other bullshit. And I just ignore it for the most part and go on. People have stopped, like following me because I cursed. I said, all right, I get it. But then that's it. I move on, right? And the cursing I get. What I don't get is when people unfollow me because I didn't have my seatbelt on in one of my videos. That was retarded. That was the most retarded shit I've ever seen. But I wasn't getting into it with her, but we had a little bit of a dialogue. And in her video, her name is Baking by Betty, or Betty Bakes Cracker Cookies, whatever the fuck her IG handle is. She curses, and I'm like, that's fine. But what I took issue with was the fact that she started gaslighting people and exposing for telling her to stop cursing. She, in the beginning of the video, she made it sound like these people made atrocities of comments. She made it sound like that they said some fucked up shit to her, and they didn't. All they said was, could you please stop cursing? Why do you have to curse so much? Is it necessary? That's all they were saying. And then she goes on to say these people are making rude comments. These are older women, and I'm like, bitch, they ain't fucking you're gaslighting them by them saying you should stop cursing. Now, yes, does cursing help your channel? Does stop cursing help your channel out? Absolutely. You get more follows that way. But that wasn't my gripe. My gripe with her was that she was gaslighting people and manipulating her audience and then making it sound like these people were motherfuckering her, and they weren't. They were just telling her, you don't have to curse. So I get into this dialogue with her, and her fucking, rescue rangers come into the comment section. You need to shut up and mind your business. I'm like, dickhead. I said, once you're on the internet, you're in a public domain. Period. There's no such thing as private this, private that. Once you jump onto the internet as a whole, you're in a public world. And there's no argument about that. So you're going to have people that are going to make comments like you shouldn't curse this and the third. Just ignore them. Move the fuck on is what I was telling her. Her rescue rangers came in there, was like, you need to shut up. Go back to photography. Your photography sucks. I hope you die. I'm like, all I said was stop gaslighting people and grow up. Because I did call her a child. She was being a bit of a child with exposing people. This new shit that people are doing on the internet or on Instagram, I think TikTok, exposing people is bullshit. Yes, the internet is the Wild West. I say that all the time. It is the Wild West, is unregulated, and anything goes. And yet, she's sitting there talking about, this one made a rude comment. And the rude comment was, could you please stop cursing? That was the lady's rude comment. I'm like, you're being a liar on top of that. So anyway, yes, my life is a bitch. Oh, I am a bitch. Whatever you want to, however you're saying the Google censorship. Google censorship's English is not that well, so bear with him. But exactly my point, vegan MAGA. It is just a word, but it's not the point. The point is the internet is always going to have something to say. The internet will get in an argument about a fucking rock. And people will sit there and get into a legitimate debate about, it's not just a rock, it's a weapon. That's the internet. Her exposing people is bullshit. She puts their picture up, and this one here said that I such and such. I know where you... I'm like, who cares? If you are complaining about them, complaining about your cursing, you're just as bad as they are. People like me who curse have an extent... Listen, you guys know my fucking cursing ability. I can get down with it. But I'm not going to expose anybody or throw anybody under the bus because they don't like my cursing. Who gives a fuck? There were people that said way worse to me than, could you please stop cursing? Way worse. And that was my point. I said, I've had some people say some atrocious shit to me. I don't sit there and gaslight them and hunt them down and all that other bullshit. Oh. Okay, got it. Google censorship, not you're a bitch. All right, like I said, sorry, whatever. Honeybee, why would you explain why Obama's not on the list? The reason why I think Obama's not on the list, one, his name has never been thrown out there. Two, he's never been caught at any of the Epstein parties, and Epstein hasn't been at any of his parties. And three, more importantly, I think the Obamas had a very private life up until they became president of the United States. Both of them, Mike and Obama, right? So, Barack, excuse me, Mike and Barack. They were very private. So I don't think they wanted the world in their, their life, if you will. But anyway, Yeah, so I just don't like this exposing shit. And every time people do it, I'm like, grow the fuck up. Stop being a child. People make a nasty comment. This person made a nasty comment. I'm going to expose them. First of all, you're not exposing shit. People don't care. I called the guy a retard, right? I said, yo, you're special needs. He goes, I'm going to make sure your clients know about this. I was like, I don't think I give a fuck. Like, people act like, by exposing them, that their world is going to crumble. This bitch, Betty by Baker or Baking by Betty, she thinks by exposing these women that their life is going to fall apart. That the world is going to come down on them like an iron fist. That's what I mean by growing the fuck up. Move the fuck on. Nothing's going to happen to these people. And by you doing this, either you're doing it for likes or you're just a bitch. And then take your cookies and cram it up your ass. Because it's a low life thing to do. Grow the fuck up. For Obama is as gay as the day is long. That's the other thing, Hudson Valley. Yes, he likes to diddle in the cock, so it's fine. Like, that's probably not his forte anyway, right? And listen, there's certain people that do certain things, and I don't think the Obama are in that realm. I could be wrong, but I know that list is heavy. And when it comes to trafficking kids, Hasidics are number one on that list. So are the Russians and the Albanians and so on and so forth, but they're up there. Do you think there's weather weapons? Yes, Northern Hillbilly, the cloud seeding thing is a weapon, if you will. And I think it's a weapon that's going to turn on. Oh, by the way, Bill Gates got the go-ahead to shady up the skies. Hold on. I know we're supposed to be talking about news, but hold on. But I know that I saw that the other day. This is 2020. There was a recent article that said solar geoengineering, and he just got the go-ahead to do it. Sun dimming. Okay, that's what it is. Sun dimming is not going to work. All right. Let's see. UK goes full Bill Gates with plans to dim the sun. Their approval marks a significant shift in the approach in combating climate change at a national level. Now, this happened back in April. So I just got wind of it. Again, guys, so many things that goes on, it's hard to keep track of all of this shit that's going on. But nonetheless, the UK gave him, not the world, but the UK gave him, so UK scientists to dim the sun, 50 million euros? No, pounds? Quids? Whatever it is, the geoengineering project. So it's backed by Bill Gates, and he's putting 50 million mullahs into it. It's coming out of an experiment that's costing them $1 billion to do. So it's geoengineering experiments. And they're going to... Now, I don't understand how this is just going to work for the UK. This has to be for the world. But yeah, we're fucked. So it's 50 million... I think it's 50 million euros. Right? No, pounds. Yeah. And it's $66 million. So the UK is set to approve a $66 million experiment aimed at dimming the sun as part of a broader geoengineering effort to combat climate change. This initiative involves solar radiation management, or SRM, which includes spraying aerosol into the atmosphere to reflect some sunlight and temporarily cool off the planet. The UK plans to invest over $1 billion in geoengineering research, which also includes projects such as carbon removal from the sea. What could go wrong? The sun dimming experiment has sparked debates, with critics warning about potential risk, including reducing global crop yield by 20 to 30%, threats to honeybee pollination, and the ethical concern of altering the atmosphere without public consent. So the government essentially is telling us to go fuck ourselves right in the ear. And they're going to do what they think is safe for us, which I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. This is definitely not a safe. But I hate when people text me and I get like, I remember what they text me and then I got to fucking go through the text message. And I'm not going to find it. But whatever, I think it was in regards to that. I think it was in regards to this shit that happened. Yeah, I can't find it, but whatever. I'll find it like as soon as this is done. Yeah, all right, I can't find it, but whatever. So this is definitely not a good look. Now that's the thing. What they're using to block the sun or dim the sun with, that's another problem that they are not addressing. They're not addressing it at all. So Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum have been mentioned in connections with supporting such geoengineering efforts. Despite the UK's contributions, less than 1% of the global carbon emission, the government is pursuing these controversial climate interventions amid growing concerns about runaway climate change. The experiment are described as a departure from traditional climate policies, with some experts and media outlets labeling them as risky or misguided. This is definitely risky. Without a doubt, it is misguided. Washington State University scientists warned serious decline in honeybee colony in 2025. There has been a huge bee issue. I have 2 beekeepers in my firehouse. As gay as that sounds. Yes, 2 grown-ass men are beekeeping, and they've been having a problem getting bees shipped to them. And in the bee world, they talk about it often, and they're saying that there has been a decline in bees. Yeah, not good. So all of this, guys, is definitely going to bite us in the ass in the long run. I don't know how well that's going to turn out, but it's definitely not going to look good. Now, switching gears. Before I switch gears, 1 or 2 things can happen. They can cool off the earth too much, and like they said, cause crop yield or cause crop not to grow as much and put us in a deficit with food, causing starvation around the world. There are places that are having a hard time farming as it is. Dimming the sun could only make it worse. Now, the fact that they're doing this without the consent of the world, and they're just taking this into their own hands, that is a bad thing. Very bad. So we have to wait and see what this is going to look like, because they're going to do this regardless of what we say. Now, there's only one way to stop them. There's only one way to stop them, and that way is definitely going to land people in jail, without a doubt. That's the only way to do it, because you're reasoning with them is not going to work. People are going to protest this shit. It's not going to work. They're going to do what they think is okay. All right, now switching gears. Female religion teacher charged with sex trafficking boys to engage in commercial sex act. Now, I find articles like this interesting because what happened in Brooklyn with the tunnel. There was more than enough sufficient evidence to bring people to jail. At the very least, question people, and none of that happened. But a teacher in the middle of Oshkosh, Ohio, is being charged with sex trafficking. Now, a female religion teacher has been busted for allegedly trafficking at least 2 boys, 15 and 14 years old. Liza Marie Rivera Gonzalez, 42, was arrested Monday, accused of having recruited, enticed, transported, and maintained the boys to engage in commercial. What is commercial sex act? And I need to know what that is. Is that like, I don't know what that is. She was busted by Homeland Security after being indicted on a grand jury for a slew of trafficking charges. If convicted, she would be sentenced to a minimum of 50 years in jail. She's probably going to make some kind of deal. A female religion teacher that had responsibility to guide our children to the light about their beliefs and principle was actually developing a plan to sexually assault them. We cannot let our guards down. We did in Brooklyn. Our children are being sexually exploited. Not in Brooklyn, they don't care. In Brooklyn they are, by people in position of public trust. Again, the Brooklyn tunnels. Rivera Gonzalez of Bayamon, San Juan, this is in Puerto Rico, allegedly trafficked a 15-year-old boy and a 17-year-old boy between the years or months of December 2023 and last November. No further details were given. They don't even have her picture, which I find interesting. Whenever a teacher is charged with sex trafficking or just molesting a kid, they always put their pictures in there. This chick, they don't. That means she has very high connections in that world, and they're trying to keep her face hidden until they expose whatever they're going to expose. Now, they're not going to expose much, but she's probably going to make some kind of deal. Now, again, we can go look at the Jews in Brooklyn, the Hasids that is, and we could definitely crack that case, but they don't want to crack that case. In fact, YouTube has even demonetized, deleted channels who talked about kids being moved across the country in detail, and they got rid of those channels. Anytime people spoke about the Brooklyn tunnel situation, channels got demonetized and videos got deleted when he talked about that. So again, yes, I might sound anti-Semitic, but I'm just pointing it out. So anyway, this lady has to be a high-profile arrest. They didn't show her face, and they're probably going to make some kind of deal with her. We shall see. Now, this is something interesting that's happening in New York. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, come the fuck on. All right. So Hochul says Mamdani, that's the guy that's running for mayor here in New York City, the super social liberal superhero of New York City. Hochul, who's the governor of New York, says that Mamdani's shocking win made her the therapist in chief, as she signals she will block all of his radical tax the rich plan. I find it interesting that this lady is now doing this. Kathy Hochul said today, that New York City Mayor frontrunner Zohran Mamdani's stunning primary win has turned her into a chief and therapist as she sought to quell fury over the socialist radical tax the rich plan. The governor has yet to endorse Mamdani after his mayoral win set off a political earthquake within the Democratic Party. Signals she planned to block his push to hike taxes for Big Apple. I'm surprised she hasn't backed Eric Adams. I don't know why she's waiting or taking so long to do so. As of right now, Eric Adams has all of the unions except the FDNY, though I can see the FDNY backing him. At least I didn't hear the FDNY, but the NYPD, Sanitation, Teachers Union, EMS, they're all backing Eric Adams as of right now. I've spoken with hundreds of business leaders. Nothing is going to happen to the city without me being aware of it and involved in it. Here's the problem. She's a governor of the state. She starts overreaching. He's going to start suing, and then we're going to end up in this endless battle of bullshit. And he's going to do what he wants. He's one of those people that are going to do what he wants. So keep that in mind. He will do as he sees fit. Are you kidding me? So we shall wait and see where that's going to go. But yeah, this ain't looking good. This ain't looking good at all. You know, I just broke my GoPro. No shit. All right, whatever. So that's not looking good for New York City. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about before we go off the air, because I think I went over my time. I'm almost over my time. But anyway, yes, New York. If he wins, New York is toast. That's the bottom line right now. If he wins, New York is screwed. There's no other way around it. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what that's going to, how that's going to land for New York. But I can tell you this much: I think a lot of people are going to leave New York if he wins. A lot of businesses are going to take their shit and go. A lot of rich people are going to fucking be out of here. So it's not going to look good. Now, last story, Mount Rainier rattled by more than 300 earthquakes, the largest swarm in years. Now, a lot of people are nervous because, again, the Ring of Fire has been very active. Yellowstone has been very active. Mount Rainier has been active in the last few years, actually almost 20. The last time they had this many swarms was back in 2009. So more than 3,000 earthquakes have erupted, at Mount Rainier, at Washington's Mount Rainier this week, the largest earthquake swarm at the volcano since 2009. As of Thursday, July 10th, that was 6 days ago, 334 earthquakes have been identified at Mount Rainier by the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Cascades Volcano Observatory, that's a lot, Public Information Officer, whatever. The swarm or clusters of earthquake occur at the same time, in the same area in rapid succession, began early morning Tuesday, July 8th. Scientists do not have any concerns about the earthquake. Cascades Volcano Observatory states, the largest so far on record was a magnitude 2.3. That was Wednesday, July 9th. West Wiesing said that the rate peaked at 26 earthquakes per hour on the morning of July 8th and has decreased a few per hour on the morning of July 10th. So basically, they're not worried, but people are worried. Again, even if this was a thing, they're not going to notify us. We're not going to know anything about it. We won't know anything about it till it's too late, or till a scientist, pirates the airwaves and goes on the internet and TV and says there's a big earthquake coming, Mount Rainier is going to explode, and then we'll take his word for it. But other than that, there's nothing to worry about. But people are panicking because, again, not panicking, excuse me. People are concerned because of what's going on in the Ring of Fire. They said the Ring of Fire is really active out there. Japan had a few earthquakes, last month and a month before last, they had a few earthquakes. They even had one where they were concerned about a tsunami, and nothing happened. So, again, guys, we have to just pay attention to what's going on, not flip out, panic, start screaming and yelling and ripping our hair out just because. Everything will be okay. Even if something does happen, we'll be fine. Mount Reneer goes, we'll be fine in the sense that we'll adapt to whatever happens. That's all it is. If Yellowstone goes, we will adapt to whatever's going to happen. A lot of us are preparing for this kind of shit, so we will be okay. I don't think it's going to turn into a situation where we need to be overly concerned. And even if it is, again, we'll adapt. We'll adapt to it. That's fucking... we'll adapt to it. Sorry. I'm just fucking really annoyed that this is broke now. I don't have any other way to fucking connect it. So, with that, guys, I'm going to go off the air. I will see you guys tomorrow for the double header. I might be at the ex-wife's home because I'll explain tomorrow. It's a long fucking story, but what I'm doing is just it's a pain in the ass. And my mother, and my son will be staying there for a night. So I'll be doing a live stream from there. Other than that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow for the double header. And he said, leave the GoPro on. I'm about to throw the GoPro against a fucking wall. That's what I'm about to do. Because that's my go-to. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right?